Hi guys, good evening. Am I audible? Hi guys, good evening. Am I audible? Okay. Good evening, all of you. I hope you all are doing good. Yes. Okay. Just confirm me once audio, video, everything is okay. Then we'll start with our day. Good evening. Good evening. Okay. So let's start, everyone. Today is the first day of our intensive practice batch. Yes. Uh, So let's get started. I'll tell you what all things, I'll just give you an overview about the batch, what all things we are going to cover, how we are going to cover, and all that. Yes, my health is good now. Thank you so much. I'm better. Okay, so in this intensive practice batch, as you must be already knowing, we are going to cover maximum question answers in the class itself. Okay, all the tricky ones, all the tricky question answers, all those question answers where amendments are involved, everything we are going to do in the class itself. Yes, plus a few questions. Okay, wherever I feel, maybe in big 14 mark questions or any other chapter, wherever I, or maybe customs valuation, etc. Wherever I feel that no, we should write and solve that question answer, we are going to do that also. Okay, so writing practice also we have to do. I hope you are sitting with a notebook with a register also for writing down, or even for when we scribble and solve any particular question. If you have a book in front of you, it will be any day better. Yes, and each and every chapter we are going to cover, right from supply till the last FTP, like till customs FTP, everything till there we are going to cover. Yes, and every day, anyway, I have put a tentative schedule already. Still, I will just let you know that every day, like for the next day, which chapter we are going to do, so that you can just come prepared for the next day. At least you can just read the theory once, and then we can solve the questions here in the class together. Yes, and if you feel that, if you're getting any doubts in between, etc., or if we are in between some question answer solving, and if you feel that I want to ask the doubt, etc., please post the doubt immediately. Okay, if you don't feel like asking the doubt now, no problem. You can ask me later also. You can ask me at the end of the class also. You can ask me after the class also. No issues, but don't take any doubts at your home. Okay, what I mean to say is everything should get solved here and here itself. Okay, otherwise what will happen if a doubt comes in your mind, let's say in the supply chapter, reference of that will come in the next chapter, again it will create confusion. So it's better if you, if we get all the doubts cleared here and here itself. Yes, so I hope everything is good. We can start. Yes, all I can guarantee you is, if you like, not even 1 month, okay, even in less than a month's period, we are going to finish up this batch. All I want you to do is, before coming for the class, okay, before sitting for the class, before listening to the class, first thing that you have to do, one thing that you have to do mainly is that particular chapter's theory has to be done compulsorily. See, if I know that you have already studied the concepts, that is the reason you are coming for the intensive practice batch, right? But you must have studied it maybe some time back or maybe long time back. But like just before the lecture, if you revise it once, it will be very, very helpful for you. Okay, because the concepts are now fresh in your mind, and then you immediately solve all the exam questions. Now, you must be already knowing in our question bank, all your past exam questions, all your RTPs, all your MTPs, all your ICAI material questions, everything is included. Okay, so no resources is left in this particular book. So if you do this much, it is more than enough. Yes, all we have to do is we have to do it sincerely. Yes, everyone. So I hope we are good to go. Can we start, everyone? Just let me know. So we'll start with our first chapter, that is supply under GST. Yes, if you have got the compiler book, please come to the chapter supply under GST, everyone. Puneet Sharma, ma'am, please at least post some important chapter questions batch on YouTube. Puneet, it is already there on YouTube. We had done a question answer batch for the May 26 examinations. You can refer it from YouTube once. We will do it for November 26, but that will take time. We are not going to do it anytime before August. So if you want to refer it now, you can just refer it from YouTube. I had done it for the May 26 examinations. Chalo. I think we are good to go now. Let's start, everyone. Yes, we are starting with the first chapter, that is supply under GST. It is an important chapter. Yes, even if not from exam point of view, it is important from exam point of view also. But, it's not that there are very low chances that you get just one single question on supply under GST. But if you get any other question, a big question or a linked question, the impact of this particular chapter is going to be there. And this chapter is very, very important conceptually, because if you are able to identify that whether this is a supply or not, whether this is a taxable supply, whether this is an exempt supply, etc., only then you will be able to further go and apply or do the calculations of the GST. Yes, so let's quickly, I'll just tell you like how we are going to do. Now, you must be having the compiler book already. In the compiler book, initially, we have got all the direct questions, like 1 mark questions are given there. Yes, and immediately as you come to the next page, from here, your analytical questions are going to start. Okay, for your CA final level, Even if you ignore the direct questions here, that is absolutely all right. Yes, if you do all the analytical questions and if you ignore the direct questions, it is absolutely all right. Direct questions are like, what is the supply? What is para number 1 of schedule number 1? Those type of questions are there. So at this level or at this stage, you know, where you have already done with the theory, etc., if you ignore the direct questions, that's absolutely all right. But we cannot ignore the analytical questions. Yes, and even in analytical questions, whatever questions are given, as you can see here on the board also, whatever questions are given here, besides that particular question, I have marked, okay, that this is a must-do question. If I am marking it as a must-do question, then that is generally very, very important question because it is going to have impact of multiple provisions coming together. Okay, so this is how the book has been made and this is how the questions have been put there. I think we can start now. I'll start with the first question under the supply. Now here, this is a very big question as you can see here because here multiple questions have been combined together. This is a question as to whether a particular transaction is a supply or it is not a supply. And within that, can you see how many small questions are coming starting from A, B, C, D. And similarly, it is going till point number W. It is going till point number W. So, almost approximately 23 sub-questions are there in this particular question. Yes. Now, before we start, because this is the first lecture, you know, just to get into the provisions or just to get into the concept, I'll quickly help you revise the provisions of section number 7. Can you tell me what was section number 7? In this supply chapter, if you have already revised the chapter, in the supply chapter, there are only two main sections. Now, one is section number 7, main I'm telling. One is section number 7 and the next one is section number 8, right? Section number 8 talks about your composite supply and mixed supply. And section number 7 talks about it totally talks about the supply thing, right? Now, first of all, for a transaction to be a supply, what all conditions were there? If you recollect, what all conditions were there if you want to treat that particular transaction as a supply? So there should be some form of supply. If you recollect, some form of supply means there should be a sale transaction or there should be a lease transaction or there should be a disposal transaction or there should be an exchange transaction or there should be a barter transaction. Some form of supply should be there. Okay, let's say for example, this pencil is there. Either I am selling this pencil to you or I am disposing it off for free or I am exchanging it with some other product or I am, you know, giving this pencil and taking some other product from you, that is barter, etc. So there should be some form of supply. Second condition which is attached along with that is there should be some consideration involved. Very, very important condition. There should be some consideration involved. Consideration can be monetary, it can be non-monetary. And last one, that supply should be done in the course or furtherance of business, right? So if all the three conditions are fulfilled, then we can say that that particular transaction is considered as a supply. Yes. Okay. This was one basic thing, right? Now, after that, one or two special points which I want to ask you is about the importation. Do you recollect about importation of services? There was one section in your syllabus, that is section number 7.1b. If you can recollect that, section number 7.1b talks about importation of services. That is, if we are importing any services, okay, for some consideration is involved, and even if you are importing it for some personal purpose or even if you are importing it for your business purpose, that is in the course or furtherance of business, okay, then in this case, even this transaction was considered as a supply. Okay, please try to understand it conceptually. See, importation of service means you are not the supplier, you are the recipient. Importation means supplier is somewhere sitting outside India. To him, GST is not applicable. You are importing the services from him. You are paying the consideration for that and you are going to use those services for personal purpose or business purpose, doesn't matter. Still that transaction will be considered as a supply as per section number 7.1b, and on that also they say that GST may apply. Okay, as of now we are not talking whether it is a taxable supply, it is an exempt supply or what. But as of now we are just discussing that okay, that particular transaction will be considered as a supply. Okay, please try to understand. Earlier what we studied was, if we want to consider any particular transaction as a supply, then it should be done in the course or furtherance of business. But this 7.1b is an exception to that. Why? Because 7.1b says that here, even if you are importing it for personal purpose, still it will be considered as a supply. Okay, and if you have studied this earlier, here which mechanism is going to apply? Suppose if on this particular transaction, suppose if GST is applicable, then which mechanism will be applicable? Like forward charge mechanism will be applicable or reverse charge mechanism will be applicable? Yes, here can we say reverse charge mechanism is going to apply. Why reverse charge mechanism is going to apply? Because where is the supplier sitting? The supplier is sitting outside India. See, in forward charge mechanism, the supplier pays the tax, right? But here the supplier cannot pay the tax. He is anyway sitting outside India. So here the recipient is going to pay the tax under reverse charge mechanism. Okay, more about reverse charge mechanism we will study in the next chapter, that is charge of GST. Yes. Okay. So this was 7.1b was one thing which I wanted you to recollect. Another one was my section number 7.1c read with schedule number 1. Okay. This contains 4 para if you recollect. Do you recollect? It contains 4 para. And in section number 7.1c schedule 1, there is no consideration involved. Okay. Again, can we say this is an exception to the main section of supply? Because in the main section of supply, consideration should be there. Right? But for the purpose of section number 7.1c, consideration is not, even if there is no consideration, still that transaction will be considered as a supply. Yes. Now here, there are 4 paras included. Please see, as I am writing, you please try to recollect it. Para number 1. Do you recollect what was para number 1? Para number 1 was permanent transfer or disposal of business assets. Business assets on which ITC was availed. Do you recollect something like that? Yes. So if you had earlier purchased any business assets on which you had taken the benefit of ITC, at the time of purchase you had taken the benefit of ITC, and now if you are selling it for free. Ma'am, why did you say for free? Because we are talking about schedule number 1, and in schedule number 1 there is anyway no consideration involved. Yes. So if there is no consideration involved, and even if you have sold it for free, even if you have disposed it for free, yes, then in that case, that transaction will still be considered as a supply. Yes, that transaction will still be considered as a supply. That is para number 1. Okay, but now many of you all might get it out. Ma'am, if I am transferring it for free or if I am disposing it for free, then how GST or on what amount the GST is going to come? So for that we are going to refer the valuation chapter, okay, where the consideration is not there, etc. For that we will do the calculations, etc. in the valuation chapter. So that is my para number 1. Another one is my para number 2. What was para number 2? Para number 2 was talking about supply of goods or services. It is applicable for both. Okay, para number 1 was applicable only to business assets. Para number 2 is applicable to goods or services. So if there is any supply of goods or services between related persons or between distinct persons, please try to recollect the names. Between related persons, between distinct persons, or between establishment of distinct persons, then in that case, even if it is done for free, between related persons, between distinct person, I hope you recollect. Yes, same PAN but multiple GST registrations. Yes, so that will be considered as distinct persons. And establishment of distinct persons specifically means same PAN but 2 different establishments. One can be GST registered, another one cannot be registered under GST. Example. One can be, let's say one is into the coaching, one office is into the coaching industry, so it is registered under GST. Another establishment is selling liquor, so it did not get registered under GST. But both of them are there under the same PAN. So they will be considered as establishment of distinct persons. So between related persons or between distinct persons or between establishment of distinct persons, if the transaction is done for 0 value, okay, for 0 value, then in that case, even that will be included in your para number 2. Yes, and then after that, then it will be considered as a supply. Then para number 3 was specifically applicable to agents. Do you recollect about that? Invoicing done in the name of the agents, etc. And para number 3 is specifically applicable to goods. Okay, it is specifically applicable to goods. So if there is any principal who is selling the goods to any third person, by this diagram, I hope you will be able to recollect it. Yes. If the principal is selling the goods to any third person through an agent, then we will have to check that invoicing is done in what way. That is, has the principal directly given the invoice to the third party, sale invoice directly in the name of the third party, or has the agent issued the invoice in the name of the third party? See, if principal is directly issuing the invoice in the name of the third party, then it is a direct transaction between the principal and the third person. There the agent is simply working for the commission. Okay, there para number 3 will never get attracted. So ma'am, when will para number 3 get attracted? Para number 3 will get attracted when the agent has done the invoicing. When the agent has done the invoicing in his own name to the third party. Means, can we say now this becomes a transaction between agent to the third party? So even the previous transaction between principal to agent, even the previous transaction, that is principal to agent, even this will be considered as a supply as per para number 3. See, if agent is giving the invoice in the name of the third party, can we say this is agent to third party is anyway a supply because he has given the invoice to the third party. So even the earlier transaction between the principal and agent, even that will be considered as a supply as per para number 3. Okay, this example I have given you when the principal is selling the goods to the third party. Similar example can be applicable when principal is purchasing the goods from the third party through an agent. So you have to check. You have to check that invoice is given by whom to the third party. Okay, if invoice is given to the third party by the agent of his own name, then agent is coming in between like a principal. So agent to principal will be a supply, and even this principal to agent will be considered as a supply. Right? And the last one is also very, very important. Last one talks about importation of services. One place where we have already studied about importation of services is section number 7.1b. But in section number 7.1b, your consideration was involved. Now we are doing para number 4 of schedule number 1. Para number 4 of schedule number 1 means there is no consideration involved. So if you are importing any services, importing means obviously from outside India, and if you are importing from your related person, or if you are importing from any of your establishment which is situated outside India, very good. If you are importing from your related person or you are importing from your establishment which is situated outside India, you are importing something from there for zero consideration. There is no consideration involved. Then too, this transaction will be considered as a supply. Okay, so if I want to sum up everyone, importation of services, I'm just trying to sum it up. See, if importation of services is done for a consideration, if it is done for a consideration, doesn't matter we are importing it for business purpose or doesn't matter we are importing it for personal purpose, this transaction will always be considered as a supply. Okay, this was told by which section number? This was told by section number 7.1b. Acha, and if in case of importation, if there is no consideration involved, okay, if there is no consideration involved and if you have imported it, and it should be imported in the course or furtherance of business. This one, it should be imported in the course or furtherance of business. And if you have imported it from your related persons or from your establishments which are located outside India, maybe from your head office situated outside India, maybe from your other office situated outside India, or maybe from your branch office situated outside India, if you are importing from your related person or establishment for no consideration but in the course or furtherance of business, then also it will be considered as a supply, and there you are going to give the reference of para number 4 of schedule number 1 and it will be considered as a supply. Ma'am, if this is considered as a supply but there is no consideration involved and if GST is applicable, then on what amount are we going to pay the GST? Again for that we are going to go to the valuation chapter and we are going to see that in this case how do we do the valuation, but we need not be concerned about that now. Okay, as of now, my main focus is just to identify whether it is a supply or it is not a supply. I am not even asking you whether it is a taxable supply or whether it is an exempt supply. We are just determining whether it is a supply or it is not a supply. Please go step by step. If you directly go to exemptions now, it will create a chaos later. Yes, here we are just trying to identify whether it is a supply or not. Everyone, are you clear till here? Are you clear till here? Yes. Okay, 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 okay. So this was one important thing which I wanted to discuss with you. Yes. Now going ahead. Now I think we should go to the question once. Okay. If in question, if there is anything in between, okay, if there is anything in between which we need to discuss, we will discuss in between. Yes. So at least let's try a question. You will also come to know that how the questions are framed and how does it work. Yes. Sure. Let's start. Let's start with question number 1. Everyone, if you have got the books already, then in that case, you can refer it from the book. If you have not got, then on our website or in the free note section, I have put some sample pages of the initial chapters. You can just refer it from there for the timing till the time you get the books. Yes, chalo. Or else simply you can refer it from the board now. Yes, chalo. Now examine whether the following activities would amount to supply under section 7 of the CGST Act or considered as non-supply. So they are simply asking whether it is a supply or it is a non-supply. Yes, let's start with it, everyone. Now first one, let's start with the first one. Damodar Charitable Trust, a trust who gets the eye treatment of the needy people done free of cost, donates clothes and toys to the children living in slum area. So basically they are talking from a trust point of view, who does the eye treatment of the needy people at free of cost. Now what transaction is this trust doing? It is donating clothes and toys to the children living in slum area. Can you quickly give me the answer? Okay, and in the chat box when you're writing the answer, please write it with the number of question, like A. This is the A1. For A, what is the answer? Is it a supply or it is non-supply? Quickly write the answer in the chat box. We'll discuss it. We'll discuss about it. Damodar Charitable Trust donates clothes and toys to the children living in the slum area. Can we say this transaction is not a supply? Yes, why this transaction is not a supply? Why this transaction is not a supply? Because we had now here when you get the question in the exam, how are you going to write this? So we'll have to write the meaning of the supply term. Yes, meaning of the supply term is supply should be there, which should be done for a consideration, except for the activities which are given in schedule number 1, and it should be done in the course or furtherance of business, right? So in this case, can we say there is no consideration involved? Yes, the charitable trust is going to donate the clothes and toys to the children living in slum area, and there is going to be nothing in return. So there is no consideration involved here at all. Hence, it is not a supply. Are you able to understand this? Yes? Okay. Then after that, going to the next one. Concentrate. Okay, concentrate. Sulekha manufacturers have a factory in Delhi and a depot in Mumbai. Both these establishments are registered in the respective states. We know that GST is state specific. So in both the states, they will have to take the registration. Finished goods are sent from factory in Delhi to the Mumbai depot without consideration so that the same can be sold. Can you imagine the transaction in your mind? Yes, factory in Delhi, depot in Mumbai, both of them are registered. Can we say it belongs to the same person? So we are assuming it is registered under the same PAN. If two entities with two GST registration numbers are registered under the same PAN, then can we call these as distinct persons? See, you can call it as establishment of distinct persons also. But before going to the establishment of distinct person definition, it falls under distinct persons. Yes, there are two terms now. One is distinct persons and another one is establishment of distinct persons. In distinct persons itself, the criteria is getting fulfilled. So you need not even go and check the meaning of the, you need not go and check the applicability of establishment of distinct persons. Generally, what we do is when one of the establishment is registered and another one is unregistered, then we take it into EDP. Otherwise, if both the establishments are there under the same PAN and both of them are GST registered, then we consider it as then we consider it as distinct persons. Okay, so here can we say both the establishment are distinct persons? So first thing that we'll have to write is that both of these offices will be considered as distinct persons. And now did you notice this? This is without consideration. As soon as we notice that it is without consideration, we will have to jump to section number 7.1 small c. Okay, section 7.1 small c. We'll go to section number 7.1c, and there now we'll have to apply which para is going to be applicable. Now, which para was applicable for distinct persons? Do you recollect? Para number 2 was applicable to distinct persons. Supply of goods or services between related persons, between distinct persons, or between establishment of distinct persons in the course or furtherance of business. In the course or furtherance of business, and it is done for zero consideration. Then, now here, can we finally conclude by giving reference of 2 points? One is the meaning of distinct persons. Another reference is of section number 7.1c read with para number 2 of schedule number 1. By this, what answer are you going to give? Can you give me the final answer? Yes, the transaction will be considered as a supply. Everyone, are you able to apply now? Are you able to apply easily? Yes. So if at all you get such a type of question in the exam, first you will have to say that this falls under distinct persons. Secondly, then you will have to give the reference of 7.1c, para number 2, write the theory, write the explanation, and then the final conclusion. Yes, one thing that you have to keep in your mind is, okay, now let's say for example, okay, if I talk about presentation of this particular answer, then the first thing, first paragraph of your answer should contain the meaning of distinct persons. Okay, no reference to this Surekha manufacturers, etc. No reference to this, just the meaning of distinct persons, and then the reference to para number 2 of schedule number 1. You'll have to give the theory of that. Okay, then the second paragraph of your answer should be the Mumbai factory or whatever, the Delhi factory and the Mumbai depot here will be considered as a distinct persons, and this transaction will be considered as a supply between distinct persons which is done in the course or furtherance of business for zero consideration. So what did you exactly do in the second paragraph was you took the names which were given in the question and you related it to the theory which you have written in the first paragraph, right? And the third paragraph will be your one-liner conclusion. Okay, no extra stuff is required to be written. Don't just try to increase the length of the answer. Okay, last one should be therefore the transfer or the supply of goods between the factory to the depot will be considered as a supply. Okay, one-liner conclusion should be there so that it should be, you know, very, very clear for the examiner that you are very, very clear with your concepts. Manageable, everyone? Doable till here? Can we go ahead? Did you understand how are we going to present the answers? Yes? ठीक है, done. Chalo, let's go ahead. I'm going to the next one, everyone. Let's try the next one. We'll go to the C point here. Raman is an electronic commerce operator in Chennai, e-commerce operator. Okay, we'll come to e-commerce operator in the tomorrow's lecture also. His brother, who is settled in London, is a well-known lawyer. Who is settled in London? Okay, settled in London is a well-known lawyer. Raman has taken legal advice from him free of cost with regard to his family dispute. So Raman is situated in Chennai. His brother is settled in London. Please try to understand. Settled means they are trying to say or they are trying to give you a hint that he is not dependent on me. Okay, he is not dependent on me. He is a well-known lawyer there, and Raman has taken legal advice from him free of cost with regard to family dispute. Yes. Do you recollect the definition of related persons? Do you recollect the definition of family members? For the purpose of GST, who will be included in your family? In my family, my spouse and my children, right? My spouse and my children will always be included irrespective of the fact whether they are dependent or independent. Okay, and my parents, my grandparents, my brothers and sisters. Parents, grandparents, brothers and sisters, they will be included only if they are wholly or mainly dependent on me. So here can we say, here they are talking about brother. and here the brother is not dependent on me. So can we say, for the purpose of this question, brother is not a family member for me? So we can say that brother is not my related person. Everyone, brother is not my related person here. So brother is an unrelated person altogether. Yes, and here any consideration, or is it free of cost? It is free of cost. It is free of cost. So now tell me, if it is free of cost, we will try to apply. See here, this is importation of services, okay? If it is importation of services, we have got two things to be applied. One is section number 71B and another one is para number 4 of schedule number, para number 4 of schedule number 1. Now, can we say here 71B is totally not applicable, because for 71B, consideration was mandatory. Consideration was mandatory, but here there is no consideration involved. So here 71B cannot become applicable. Then going on to para number 4 of schedule number 1. What was para number 4 of schedule number 1? Para number 4 of schedule number 1 was specifically importation of services. It was specifically talking about importation of services from your related persons or from your establishment outside India, but in the course or furtherance of business. But here can we say it is not from your related person and it is not even in the course or furtherance of business. So my para number 4 is also not applicable. So can we finally conclude? Can we finally conclude that this is not a supply? Can we finally conclude that this is not a supply? Did you understand this, everyone? Did you understand how did we apply this? Yes. So whenever you get any question on importation of services, always apply these 2 points and then see if you are falling within that. If you are not falling within that, then we can give the final conclusion that it is not a supply. Yes. Manageable till here, doable. Everyone, can we go ahead? Chalo. Then after that, going to the next one. See if you can now give the answer for this. Would your answer be different? Would your answer be different if in the above case, Raman has taken advice in respect of his business unit in Chennai? Come on, quickly give me the answer for the D point. Will my answer differ or will my answer still be the same? If he has taken the advice for his, earlier he had taken the advice for a family dispute, now he is taking the advice for his business unit in Chennai. Can I say my answer will still remain the same? This transaction will also not be considered as a supply. Why, ma'am? Why? Because, first of all, again, 7.1b is not applicable. Why 7.1b is not applicable? Because there is no consideration involved. Okay, so 7.1b is ruled out. Now, talking about para number 4. For para number 4, it should be from related person and it should be in the course or furtherance of business. But in this case, brother is not my related person, right? So this importation is not from my related person. So can I say again, this transaction is not considered as a supply. Are you able to understand this? Yes? Okay. Chalo, theek hai. See, if you know the provisions like properly, in depth, okay, then let them twist the question in whatever way they want to. You should not get confused. Yes? theek hai. Then after that, let's go to the next one. Now we can start increasing our speed a little bit. Prithvi Enterprises appoints Champak to procure certain goods from the market. So there is a person who is appointing Champak to procure certain goods from the market. Champak identifies various suppliers who can provide the goods as desired by Prithvi Enterprises and asks a supplier, Satya Manufacturers, to send the goods and issue the invoice directly to Prithvi Enterprises. You are required to determine whether Champak can be considered as an agent of Prithvi as per schedule number 1 of the CGST Act. Yes, so there is a person called as Prithvi Enterprises. This Prithvi Enterprises is the principal. This Prithvi Enterprises is appointing an agent called as Champak. Champak is the agent, right? And Prithvi is appointing Champak so that it can find some suppliers, because Prithvi wants to purchase some goods, so it wants some suppliers. Now they have got a supplier called as Satya Manufacturers. Satya Manufacturers. So Satya Manufacturers is going to sell the goods to Prithvi and see the words here, issue the invoice directly to Prithvi. Directly to Prithvi. Can you give me the answer? Yes. This transaction is not, he cannot be considered as the agent as per para number 3. Why? Because for him to get considered as an agent as per para number 3, for that invoice should have been in the name of the agent, and then this transaction, then the transaction between agent and principal will be considered as a supply. But here the invoice was anyway directly given by the supplier to the principal, so he will not be considered as an agent as per para number 3 of schedule number 1. Understanding this? Yes? Okay. Simple question till here. Now going ahead. Chalo, now try everyone. I want you to give me the reference for the next question. Sudama Associates, a registered supplier, disposes the computers owned by the business without consideration. Sudama, a registered supplier, disposes the computers owned by the business without consideration, and it has not claimed the ITC on such computers. Not claimed the ITC on such computers. Examine whether the disposal of computers by Sudama Associates qualifies as supplies under schedule number 1. So can we say this is disposal of business assets? Disposal of business assets for zero consideration on which ITC was availed. So now here, can we say yes, here there is a disposal of business asset, okay, without any consideration, but there was no ITC availed. If at the time of purchase, if there was no ITC availed for that, then at the time of sale, the department will not ask us to pay GST on that. Department will tell me to pay the GST on this free disposal only when I had earlier availed the ITC. Very good answer. So this transaction will not be considered as a supply. Okay. Chalo. Then after that, the next one, everyone. Nice question. Please mark it as important. Please mark it as important. Okay. Ajat Industries enters into a contract with an actor, Chandragupta, to act as a brand ambassador of the products manufactured by Ajat Industries. Okay. So we are appointing someone to act as a brand ambassador for our products. The duration of the contract is 5 years, and the contract fee payable to him for being a brand ambassador is rupees 50 lakhs per annum. For 5 years, he is going to get 50 lakhs. As per the terms of the contract, it was written, mentioned in the contract, in case the contract is terminated by Chandragupta before the end of the contract period, Chandragupta will have to repay to Ajat Industries 50% of the contract fee received by him till the termination of the contract. Means if he stops the contract in between, whatever he has got till now, 50% of that he will have to pay back to the company. Now, at the end of the 3rd year, Chandragupta terminates the contract with Ajat Industries. He has received the contract fee for 3 years. For 3 years, he has already received the amount at the time of termination. You are required to determine whether the given transaction qualify as supply. Tell me whether it is a supply or it is not a supply. So I was appointed as a brand ambassador. Every year I was going to get 50 lakh rupees. Yes, and it was already decided between me and the other person that if I leave the contract in between, I will have to repay that 50%. Whatever amount I have got till now, 50% of that I will have to repay it back. Right? So now they are asking that whether this transaction will be considered as a supply or not. Quickly try to give me the answer, everyone. Have you heard about something called as tolerating an act? Have you heard something called as tolerating an act? Yes? You must have heard about it, na? There is a schedule, okay, in our supply chapter, there is a schedule called as schedule number 2. Where we do the bifurcation that whether it is goods, whether it is supply of goods or whether it is supply of services. Do you recollect something like that? Yes. Whenever there is a transfer of title, then it is considered as supply of goods. Whenever we are giving any asset or any goods for using it, then it is considered as supply of services, etc. Yes. Now there we have already studied that agreeing to an obligation. Okay, agreeing to an obligation to refrain from doing an act, or tolerating an act, or for doing an act. Yes, all these are considered as supply, and that too it is considered as supply of services. I am specifically referring to para number 5 of schedule number 2. Para number 5 of schedule number 2. Okay, tolerating an act, refraining from doing an act, etc. For that, if we get any consideration in return, then it is considered as a supply, and that too it is considered as a supply of service. Yes, very good. It is considered as supply of service. Okay, now here, please try to understand this. Okay, I'll write it here. Refraining from doing an act. Okay, refraining from doing an act means I am telling you, you please don't do this, and if you don't do this, I will pay you for that. For not doing something, if I am paying you, then even that is considered as a supply of service. Okay, that is one thing. Or if I am tolerating your act, okay, for which you are going to give me some consideration, tolerating an act, even that is considered as a supply of service. And next one is doing an act. Okay, doing an act, teaching you, for which I'm going to get consideration, that is also a supply. Okay, and all these are specifically classified as supply of services. Supply of services as per schedule number 2. Did you understand this? Yes. Now see. Along with this, now there were many controversies for this point relating to liquidated damages, penalties, etc. And for that, the government came up with a circular. And in that circular, the government clarified. Okay, yes, government clarified. I am helping you to recollect the liquidated damages point, a breach of contract, etc. Don't worry about that. Okay, now please try to understand. The government came up with a circular, and government gave proper explanation for each of the pointers, that if there is a case of liquidated damages. Okay, liquidated damages means, or breach of contract means, let's say we have entered into a contract and the other party could not fulfill the conditions of the contract. Because he could not fulfill the conditions of the contract, he had to pay some penalty. Okay, that is considered as your liquidated damages or breach of contract. So they are telling that for all these things like liquidated damages, breach of contract, etc., if there was a pre-existing contract, okay, if there was a pre-existing contract, that if you breach the contract, okay, if there was an express, implied, written contract, that if you breach the contract or if you leave the contract in between, then you will have to pay so much amount in return. Okay, then in that case, it will be considered as a supply, not otherwise. Okay, so how are we supposed to recollect it from our exam point of view? Okay, normally breach of contract, liquidated damages, any penalty, okay, traffic fine, check dishonor charges, etc., all these will be considered as not a supply. Okay, unless there was an express written contract between both the persons, that if you violate the contract, if you breach the contract, then you will have to pay so much amount in return. Okay, if implied contract was there, if written contract was there, which was signed between both of them, then it will be considered as a supply, then on that GST will be applicable. But otherwise on liquidated damages, breach of contract, you must have heard about advance money forfeited. In capital gains also, when we enter into a contract, when we pay the token money to, if you want to buy any property, etc., we pay the token money, and if the contract doesn't go ahead, we breach it. Okay, we forfeit that particular amount. Okay, if we are simply forfeiting the amount, okay, then it is considered as mere flow of money, and there is no express implied contract for that, because till that time we have not at all entered into a contract. So on that amount there will be no GST. Yes, similarly, let's say check dishonor charges. The bank charges the check dishonor charges from you. So on that check dishonor charges, there is no GST. Why? Because there was no written implied contract between you and the bank that if this check gets dishonored, then we are going to take so and so amount of charges from you. So that is a mere flow of money from you to the bank, on which GST is not applicable. Are you understanding this? So applying this one to the given question, please try to give me the answer. In this Chandragupta and this Ajat Satru Industries, was there a written implied contract between both of them? Quickly tell me, was there a return implied contract between both of them that you will have to pay so and so amount back if you leave the contract in between? Yes, yes. In this case, as per the terms of the contract, it was already signed between both of them that if he leaves the contract in between, he will have to pay 50% of whatever amount he has received. So here specifically, this will be considered as a supply. Are you able to understand this, everyone? Is it manageable till here? Yes. And for your simplicity, what I have done is in our concept book, I'll just show it to you. In our concept book, I have put a full summary of this. Can you see this? A full summary is put up here. Agreeing to do an obligation to refrain from an act, tolerating an act, or to do an act. This is considered as supply of service. This is my table of schedule number 2. And below that, I have given a full conclusion of the circular that all these will not be considered as a supply. These will be considered as a supply, whether individual supply or whether composite supply, etc. Everything is given here. Yes, as of now, we have just discussed about this breach of contract with an express agreement. So I'm just touching about the first point. We have got the questions coming on the other points also. We will come to it when we do the questions. Yes. So here, finally, what is the answer for this given question? Is it a supply or it is not a supply? Is it a supply or it is not a supply? Can you quickly give me the answer? It is a supply. Yes. And what will be the value of supply? What will be the value of supply? Can we say whatever amount he has received for the past 3 years, he will have to return 50% of that? So 150 lakhs he has received in the past 3 years, 50% of that he will have to give. So can we say 75 lakhs? Here 75 lakhs will be considered as what? 75 lakhs will be considered as the value of supply. Are you understanding this? Yes. Can we go ahead, everyone? Yes. Can we say here Ajat-Satru Industries? We can also interpret in this manner. Yes, Ajat-Satru Industries is tolerating the act of Chandragupta of leaving the contract in between. And for that, Ajat-Satru is going to receive 75 lakhs in return, and which was already agreed, implied return between both of them. So it will be considered as a supply. Yes. Chalo, theek hai. Then after that, I'm going to the next one now. Going to the next point. Everyone here. Chalo. Nice question, everyone. H point and I point. We can take it together. Let's do it, everyone, quickly. Yes, AC ticket cancellation. AC ticket cancellation, again, now there is an overlapping of provision. AC ticket cancellation, there is no return agreement between us and the Indian Railways, but it was specifically given in the circular. It was specifically given in the circular that railway ticket cancellation, hotel bookings, etc. Even though there is no express implied contract between both of them, still it will be considered as a supply. Yes, so this is a contradiction between the law and the circular, but because we have got a specific circular for this point, so we will have to follow the circular, and that's the only reason we are considering it as a supply. Yes. Many of the articles here have already, they argue a point here that when you book the tickets, okay, there they tell us to agree to the terms and conditions. There it is already written that if you cancel the tickets, etc., then these and these charges will be applicable along with GST. So many of them support along with that point. But anyway, for our exam point of view, we need not get so much into detail. Here the circular has specifically asked us to make it taxable, and hence that is the only reason we are making it taxable. Okay, so that's why I have told you from exam point of view, this summary table, okay, this is going to be the most important thing for you. Yes. Chalo, theek hai. Then after that, coming to the H point, everyone. Rudraksh Kapoor, owner of Rudraksh Publishing House, Ghaziabad, UP, donated some money to Divya Prakash Charitable Trust in memory of his late father. The Divya Prakash Charitable Trust constructed a room in the school run by it from such donation and wrote, donated by Rudraksh Kapoor in memory of his father. Okay, so there is a person called as Rudraksh Kapoor who has donated some amount to a charitable trust in memory of his late father, and the trust has written donated by Rudraksh Kapoor in the memory of his father on the door of the room so constructed. Examine whether the money donated by Rudraksh Kapoor is it liable for GST. Everyone, I want the answers from you. Is it liable for GST? Or I should be asking you whether it is a supply or it is not a supply. Tell me quickly, H point, supply or not a supply? Yes. Now can we say this is not a supply? Why? Yes, answer is correct. Why this is not a supply? Why this is not a supply? Because whenever a charitable trust is receiving some amount of donation from a donor, okay, if it is done for philanthropic purposes, very good. If it is done for philanthropic purposes, ma'am, philanthropic means there is no commercial gain out of it. Okay, then in such a case, and the payment is in the nature of gift or donation, then in such a case, it will not be considered as a supply. Yes, so here Rudraksh Kapoor has donated the amount out of philanthropic activity, okay, out of gratitude, etc. It has done, and also the charitable trust, whatever it is also doing in return, okay, that is writing the name or that is donated by Rudraksh Kapoor, even that is a expression of gratitude. It is just a token of gratitude, so this will not attract GST, and hence it is not considered as a supply. Okay, so this is not considered as a supply. Okay, the words philanthropic activity, this word should come in your answer. Okay, the word should come in your answer. Philanthropic activity. Philanthropic means not for commercial gain, okay, or for donation kind of a thing. Now, continuing the same question in the I point, everyone. In the above question, if Divya Prakash Charitable Trust has written on the door of the room constructed in the school run by it from the money donated by Rudraksh Kapoor, donated by Rudraksh Publishing House, Ghaziabad, UP, would the given transaction or activity qualify as supply? Now, instead of writing in late memory of his father, now if they are writing money donated by Rudraksh Publishing House, instead of writing Rudraksh Kapoor, it is writing Rudraksh Publishing House, Ghaziabad, UP. Would the given transaction or activity qualify as a supply? Answer is yes, definitely it will qualify as a supply. Why it will now qualify as a supply? Because now this no more looks like a philanthropic activity. Now it looks like a commercial gain. Yes, it is for advertisement purposes. So here everyone, okay, the mistake which most of the students do here is this will be considered as if it is a supply done by Divya Prakash Charitable Trust to Rudraksh Kapoor or Rudraksh Publishing House. It is considered as a supply by trust to the publishing house, for which it has given some amount of consideration, which is given the name of donation. So it is assumed as if advertisement services have been provided by the trust to the publishing house, for which it has received the consideration. Everyone, did you understand this point? Did you understand this point? Yes. So this transaction will be considered as a supply. Manageable till here, everyone? Chalo, theek. Then after that, going to the next point, everyone. Going to the J point. Let's read it. 1 second. Huh? Let's read the J point. Westco Limited, a registered person in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, having head office located in Singapore, received management consultancy services free of cost from its head office. Westco Limited in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, head office in Singapore, received management consultancy services free of cost from its head office. I want you to give me the answer, or at least give me the reference. Which schedule will become applicable here? Which para, which section, what will become applicable here? Can we say this is importation of services because we are importing it from Singapore office? Yes, and this is imported from my office only, which is, so my establishment outside India, from there I am importing it. Yes, and this is imported for free of consideration means can we say para number 4 of schedule number 1 is going to become applicable? Yes, and we are assuming that this is done in the course or furtherance of business. If it is done, yeah, this is the para number 2 or para number 4? Para number 2 or para number 4? See, can we say this is specifically importation? If it is specifically importation, then we have a specific para for that, na? Then we'll apply para number 4 of schedule number 1 read with section number 71C. So, as per that, the transaction will be considered as a supply. Okay. So first paragraph is where you are going to explain about para number 4 of schedule number 1 read with section number 71C, importation of services. That entire thing you are going to write. Second one, therefore in this case, Vesco Limited, Ahmedabad, Gujarat has imported services from its establishment located outside India, that is in Singapore, for free of cost and assuming it is done in the course or furtherance of business. And the final conclusion paragraph will be, therefore the transaction will be considered as a supply as per para 4 of schedule number 1. Yes. Chalo. Then after that, going to the next one, everyone. Mr. Rajesh Surana has a proprietorship firm in the name of Surana and Sons in Jaipur. The firm, registered under GST in the state of Rajasthan, manufactures taxable products. The firm also provides taxable consultancy services. Mr. Rajesh Surana has provided the consultancy services. So now we have provided, provided the consultancy services to his brother, Mr. Akhilesh Surana, who is located in USA without any consideration. So we means Rajesh Surana, we are located in Rajasthan. And we normally provide consultancy services, etc. And now we have also provided one consultancy service to my brother Akhilesh Surana, who is located in USA without any consideration. The products manufactured by Mr. Akhilesh are similar to the ones manufactured by Mr. Rajesh Surana. Why have they given us this line? Why have they given us this line? The products manufactured by Akhilesh, that is brother in US, are similar to the ones manufactured by Rajesh Surana. Means they are also trying to imply that Akhilesh Surana, who is located in US, he is also into business. If he is also in business, then can we also assume from here that he is not dependent upon Rajesh Surana? He is not dependent on us. If he is not dependent on us, then can we say he is not my related person? He is not my family member. He is not my family member and so he is not considered as my related person. Yes, it is because for that purpose they have given us. And Mr. Surana charges rupees 3 lakh for providing similar consultancy services to other independent customers located in USA. Now compute the GST liability, if any, assuming the GST rate to be 9, 9 and 18% respectively. So we are situated here. We are situated here in India. Rajesh Surana is situated here in India. It is providing some consultancy services to Akhilesh Surana, right? And who is situated in USA. Is it importation of service or is it exportation? Does it look like importation or exportation? It is not importation. Now we are here in Rajasthan, we are here in India and we are providing the services here, and this person is not my related person because we are assuming that he is also carrying on the business, he is also carrying on his business outside India. Now tell me quickly, is it a supply or it is not a supply? Is it a supply or it is not a supply? GST applicable, GST not applicable. Tell me quickly, everyone. Can we say here the supply is done? I agree that the supply is done free of cost. Okay, without any consideration. Without any consideration means we will try to apply section number 71C. But are we fitting anywhere in section 71C? No, because if we see, we cannot take para number 4 here. Why we cannot take para number 4 talks about importation. So we are left with para number 2. But for para number 2, he should be our related person. But here he is not my related person. So can we say the transaction is not a supply? Okay, don't get confused or don't get carried away just by seeing this 9%, 18% here. Okay, ma'am, they have given the percentage, so it should be a supply. No, it is not at all a supply. Everyone, are you able to apply and are you able to choose between the provisions? Yes. Manageable till here? Chalo. Then I'm going to the next one, everyone. Let's try the next one. Angad Private Limited is engaged in the business of distribution of construction material. As an incentive, Angad Private Limited pays an amount of 75,000 to its employees upon achieving a specified sales target. The incentive is part of salary of the employees and applicable tax is deducted at source as per the relevant income tax provisions. Angad Private Limited is of the view that GST is not leviable on such incentive paid to the employees, whether the view taken by Angad Private Limited is correct. So basically it is giving some incentive to its employees once they achieve some specified sales target, and that incentive is a part of salary. And on that normal TDS is deducted. They are telling that GST is not applicable. I just want to know what is your view on this. Tell me, GST applicable or GST not applicable? GST applicable or GST not applicable? Can we say here they are taking us to schedule number 3? Here they are taking us to schedule number 3. Schedule number 3 means the places where they have already classified that so and so transactions are not a supply. And in schedule number 3, we know that when the services, first point itself, right? When the services are provided by an employee to the employer, which is in the course or in relation of employment, okay, or it is as per the terms of employment, then it is not a supply at all. So yes, 75,000 is considered as a part of salary. So it is just considered as a salary, and hence as per schedule number 3, read with section number 7.2. Okay, as per 7.2, read with schedule number 3. This transaction is not considered as a supply. So yes, the contention taken by Angad Private Limited is absolutely correct. Yes, very good. Okay. Then after that, let's try the next one. Moksh Bhumi Industries has its manufacturing unit in the state of Maharashtra. It stores the finished goods manufactured by it at a depot located in Gujarat. Okay, so manufacturing is in Maharashtra. Depot is in Gujarat. The depot is owned by Punya Bhumi Limited, a related person of Moksha Bhumi Industries. Punya Bhumi Limited has not charged any consideration from Moksha Bhumi Industries for usage of depot for storage purposes. Whether the storage of goods permitted by Punya Bhumi to Moksha Bhumi qualifies as supplies under GST. So basically, the manufacturing unit is in Maharashtra that belongs to Moksha Bhumi, okay? And the depot is in Gujarat and which is owned by Punya Bhumi, two different entities, and both of them are related. They have already told that both of them are related, and Punya Bhumi is allowing Moksha Bhumi to use the depot for free. It has not charged any consideration. So now they are telling that this storage of goods, this renting of place, will this be considered as a supply? Everyone, please try to understand. No consideration means we'll directly jump to schedule number 1. Tell me whether it is a supply or it is not a supply. Tell me whether it is a supply or it is not a supply. It is done between related persons for no consideration in the course or furtherance of business. Yes, it is a supply of service. Very good. It is a supply of service. As per which para? Give me the reference. As per which para will it be considered? It is a supply between related person, right? It is a supply between related person which is done in the course or furtherance of business for zero consideration. Yes. So para number 2, very good. Para number 2 of schedule number 1. Okay. This is not distinct persons. This is related person, because distinct persons means the company has to be the same. The PAN has to be the same. But here there are two different companies, Moksha Bhumi and Punya Bhumi. Okay, para number 2. Chalo, then after that, let's go to the next one, everyone. Saravana and Sons wishes to start supplying liquor in the state of Tamil Nadu. Therefore, it applies for license for selling liquor to the Tamil Nadu government. For it, it has charged separate fee from it, specified fee from it. Examine whether the grant of alcoholic liquor license by Tamil Nadu government to Saravana and Sons qualify as supply. I don't know if you have read section number 7.2b or not. Have you heard about section number 7.2b? In section number 7.2b, there are some 2 non-supplies which are notified by the government. Have you heard about it, everyone? Section number 7(2)(b), two non-supplies. Yes, those are totally excluded from the term called a supply. One is any services provided by central government, state government or local authority, which is in relation to the function entrusted to panchayat, or which is in relation to the function entrusted to municipality, panchayat or municipality. That is one thing. And second type of supply is grant of alcoholic liquor license by state government. Only for alcoholic liquor license, not any other license. When it is granted by state government to any other person, and whatever license fee he pays in return, on that there is no GST applicable. Have you heard about these two transactions, everyone, earlier? Yes. So here in this case, everyone, who is giving the license to whom? Can we say Tamil Nadu government is granting the alcoholic liquor license to Saravana and Sons? So can we say the license is sold by the state government to Saravana and Sons for some consideration called as license fee? So this transaction is not considered as a supply. Reference section number 7(2)(b). Manageable, everyone, doable. Acha, if I would have told you this is a petroleum license, this is a oil extraction license, then what your answer would have been? What if this was a petroleum license? What if this was a oil extraction license? Then it would have been a supply. Okay, only because this is a liquor license. Only because this is a liquor license, that benefit was given under section 7(2)(b). Are you understanding this, everyone? Manageable till here? Yes. Chalo, theek hai. Then after that, let's go ahead. Let's go to the next one. Next point, everyone here. Sahab Sales, an air conditioner dealer in Janakpuri, Delhi, needs 4 ACs for his newly constructed house in Safdarganj enclave. Okay, Sahab Sales, he is already a AC dealer. Okay, and he needs 4 AC for his new house. Therefore, he transfers 4 ACs on which ITC has been availed by it from its stock for the said purpose. Okay, so what he is doing, he is anyway into the business of AC. He is transferring 4 ACs from his stock for his personal purpose. Okay, on which ITC was already availed. Examine whether the said activity amounts to supply under section number 7 of the CGST Act 2017. Okay, that is one question that they are asking. Another question that they are asking is, further, a Janakpuri resident, Akash, approached Sahab Sales. He sold an AC to Sahab Sales, maybe a second-hand AC. He has sold to Sahab Sales for rupees 5,000. Akash had bought the said AC 6 months before for his residence. Does the sale of AC by Akash to Sahab Sales amounts to supply under section number 7? So there are two questions that they are asking. First question, I want you to answer. First question, everyone. From my office business assets, I am transferring some AC for my personal purpose on which ITC was availed. Tell me, is it a supply or it is not a supply? Tell me, is it a supply or it is not a supply? Which para will become applicable here? Permanent disposal or transfer of business assets on which ITC has been availed. Yes, it is considered as supply of goods as per para number 1. Okay, business assets doesn't only mean your fixed asset, it means all your assets. It can be your current assets also, it can be your stock also. Okay, so as per para number 1 of schedule number 1, it will be considered as a supply because he had already taken the ITC on the same and he is now transferring it to someone, that is to his own home only, but for zero consideration. So it will be considered as a supply. And second one, this Akash was coming and selling some AC which he had purchased 6 months before for his residence. He is coming and selling it to Sahab Sales for rupees 5,000. Is it a supply as per section number 7? Everyone, give me the answer for the second part. Give me the answer for the second part. Is it a supply or it is not a supply? You have to think from Akash's point of view now. Akash is the supplier. Akash is the supplier. Akash is selling a second-hand AC to Sahab Sales for rupees 5,000. Can we say this is not a supply? Why this is not a supply? Why this is not a supply? Because. Is he doing it in the course or furtherance of his business? No, he is not doing it in the, he's getting a consideration, agreed, but that is his personal asset. He's not doing it in the course of, it is not his business. It is not the business of Akash to sell the AC. Okay, it is a business for Sahab sales, and Sahab sales is purchasing here. So because it is not in the course or furtherance of business, so my basic condition of section number 7 does not get fulfilled, and hence it is not a supply. So, ठीक है. Chalo. Then after that, everyone, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead quickly. Point number P. Everyone, point number P. Check what is point number P. Satyam has lent securities to Kala Enterprises for a consideration of rupees 10,000 towards lending of securities under the Securities Lending Scheme 1997. Lending, not selling, lending of securities through an approved intermediary. Ignore the transaction between Satyam and the intermediary. Anything else? No, nothing else they are giving. Tell me everyone quickly. Satyam has lent the securities to Kala Enterprises for a consideration of 10,000 towards lending of securities under the Securities Lending Scheme. Tell me, is it a supply or it is not a supply? I am not asking whether RCM applicable, FCM applicable, nothing. Just tell me, lending of securities. Will it be a supply? Answer is yes. Answer is yes, it will be a supply. See, you have already studied that any transaction in money and securities. Have you already studied this in some definition? Any transaction in money and securities is neither goods and it is neither nor services, right? But that is sale and purchase of securities is not goods or services. But this is not sale or purchase of securities. This is lending of securities. We are just lending the securities for which we are going to get some consideration in return. This is just like lending of some product. Okay. So yes. So this will be considered as a supply. Okay. And because this is only lending, so it is considered as supply of service. Manageable, everyone. Manageable till here. It is considered as supply of services. Yes. Done. Everyone, manageable till here. Can we go ahead? Yes. Chalo. Then after that, let's go ahead to the next point. Let's try. Patta Limited made supply of goods to its agent Romi without consideration. Romi issued invoice for further supply of goods to the customer in his own name. In his own name. Romi also disclosed the name of the principal in the invoice issued. Now we have already done such a type of question. I want you to give me the answer. Is this a supply or this is not a supply between principal and the agent? Patta Limited sold the goods to a customer through an agent. Agent's name is Romi. Romi has given the invoice in his own name to the final customer. Yes. So this will be, can we say here the transaction between the principal and the agent, that is Patta and agent. This will be considered as a supply as per para number 3 of schedule number 1. Why? Why, ma'am? Because the agent has issued the invoice in his own name. Yes, that is the Q point. Then after that, next one, everyone. Check the next one. Try to give me the answer. We have discussed about this. Try to give me the answer. Dilasa Limited recruited Miss Chaya as senior relationship manager. Already recruited. At the time of joining as senior relationship manager, the company paid rupees 3 lakh towards not joining Milan Limited, a stiff competitor of Dilasa Limited. So basically, a company is giving 3 lakh rupee to an employee for not joining some other company. For not joining some other company. Is it a supply or it is not a supply? Can we say, I had given you a term. I had given you a term called as refraining from doing an act. For not doing something, you are going to get some consideration. It was considered as supply of services. Do you recollect? Yes, for not doing an act, you are going to get a consideration called, that will be considered a supply of services. So can we say here we are giving 3 lakh for not joining Milan Limited. So this will be considered as supply of services. Very good. Okay, then your favorite question, everyone. Question number S and question number T. Let's try. Yes. ABC Insurance Limited. The new points which were added in case of insurance. Everyone. ABC Insurance Limited, a registered insurer in Maharashtra, enters into a co-insurance agreement with XYZ Insurance Limited, where ABC Insurance Limited is the lead insurer. ABC is the main insurer. The insured, Gyati Industries, pays a total premium of 50 lakh, which is apportioned by the lead insurer between itself and XYZ in the ratio of 60-40. Okay, so ABC is going to keep 60% and XYZ will be given 40%. For the services jointly supplied by them to Gyati Industries. Gyati Industries is basically the one who has taken the policy. Now, ABC Limited agrees to discharge the entire GST liability on the full amount of premium received from Gyati Industries. Based on the provisions of schedule number 3, discuss whether apportionment of co-insurance premium by ABC to XYZ for insurance services jointly supplied by them to Gyati Industries. Tell me, apportionment 40% paid to XYZ, will it again attract GST or it will attract no GST again? You must have already studied this multiple times. GST applicable or not applicable? No, it is not applicable. It is not considered as a supply. Why? Because para number 9, remember? Even if you don't remember the para number for schedule number 3, but at least para number 9 of schedule number 3 specifically says that apportionment of premium, right? Apportionment of premium by the lead insurer to the co-insurer. Okay, that will not be considered as a supply if the lead insurer has already paid GST on the entire amount. Yes, this was one question on your para number 9 of schedule number 3. Very good. So this is not a supply. This is a non-supply as per schedule number 3. Even if you are not able to write para number 9, that's okay. But at least I want you to write schedule number 3 in your answer. Huh? Schedule number 3 is the bare minimum thing which your examiner is also expecting from you. Chalo, theek hai. Then similarly, everyone, a question on para number 10 also. Let's try this question. A large industrial plant needs an insurance worth rupees 500 crore. It approaches ABC Insurance Limited for the same. However, since ABC Insurance Limited is unable to underwrite the entire risk alone, it enters into a reinsurance agreement with a reinsurer, PQR Industries Limited. So, first insurance company is ABC Limited. Then it is also going to share the policy with PQR Insurance Limited. The total premium charged is rupees 50 lakhs. So, from this main company, okay, from the insured, we are going to take 50 lakh rupees as premium. The insurer ABC Limited pays a reinsurance premium of 20 lakh to PQR. Okay, so basically ABC Limited is going to get total 50 lakh. From that, it is going to pay 20 lakh to PQR. Why is it paying 20 lakh to PQR? Because PQR is also going to insure it together. It is a joint insurance kind of a thing. Yes. So, then after that, this allows ABC Insurance Limited to manage the risk and financial exposure while paying this amount to PQR. So, now when we were paying this 20 lakh rupees to PQR, ABC Insurance deducts the ceding commission. It deducts the ceding commission of rupees 1 lakh, which it has charged for the services it has provided to PQR. So basically, see, we are going to take full 50 lakh premium from the customer. Out of that, we are going to share 20 lakh to PQR because PQR is providing a service to us. It is also taking the risk for which it is going to get 20 lakh. But can we say we are providing a customer also to PQR? For that, we are going to take ceding commission. That is a service provided by ABC to PQR for which we are going to pay, for which we are charging a commission of rupees 1 lakh. So while paying this 20 lakh, from that we have deducted 1 lakh rupees as ceding commission and we are going to pay a net amount of 19 lakh rupees to PQR Insurance. Now PQR Insurance Limited, now see this line is very, very important. PQR Insurance Limited pays GST on the gross reinsurance premium. Gross reinsurance premium including the ceding commission. Means PQR net it has got 19 lakh rupees only, but it has paid GST on full 20 lakhs. Based on the provisions of Schedule 3, discuss whether the services by ABC to PQR for which ceding commission is deducted, is it liable to GST? Quickly tell me, on this 1 lakh, separately, any GST applicable or no GST applicable? Separately, any GST applicable or no GST applicable? Where PQR insurance has already paid GST on full 20 lakh. Can we say there is no GST applicable? This is excluded. This 1 lakh will be excluded from supply. Yes. Why? Because whenever the reinsurer pays the GST on the gross premium, including the ceding commission, then the GST has already been paid on that, and hence that 1 lakh will be excluded from the supply. This is which schedule? Again, everyone in the exam, which schedule are you going to give the reference to? Schedule number 3. See, here they have asked you on the basis of schedule number 3. What if this was not given? So we'll give the reference of schedule number 3, and if at all you can remember, then this is para number 10 of schedule number 3. This is not considered as a supply. Manageable? Manageable, everyone? Doable till here? Yes? Chalo, theek hai. Then after that, going to the next one. Last few questions here, everyone. See the next point. Next question. Krishna Dev is a trader based in India. Ramakrishna, brother of Krishna Dev, is located in China and is also engaged in business of trading of goods. Krishna Dev places an order with Ramakrishna for procurement of certain goods from local market in China. Before the shipment of goods from China to India, Krishna Dev sold such goods to Cristiano, a trader located in Brazil. The goods were subsequently shipped from China to Brazil. Comment on the taxability of the transaction between Krishna Dev and Cristiano under GST in India. So basically, we were purchasing the goods from China. We were supposed to bring it to India and then sell it to Brazil. But instead, what we did was, we directed the goods to go from China to Brazil. So now, tell me, for the purpose of GST in India, whether it is a supply or it is not a supply. Whether it is a supply or it is not a supply. If you must have heard something called as out and out supplies, or if you have heard something about merchant trading, out and out supplies or merchant trading, again as per schedule number 3 itself, where the goods are not touching India and the goods are supplied from a non-taxable territory to another non-taxable territory. Can we say China is one non-taxable territory and Brazil is another non-taxable territory? It is not India. So outside India to outside India it is getting supplied. So this transaction is not going to attract any GST in India, and hence it is not a supply. Yes? Again, schedule number 3. Then after that, the next one, everyone here, next one. Yes, here it is. Chalo, let's try one more question, everyone. 2 more questions. Mohandas International entered into a transaction for import of goods from a vendor located in Italy. Due to financial issues, Mohandas International was not in a situation to clear the goods upon payment of import duty. So we imported, but we could not clear it. Okay, Mohandas International sold the goods to Radhakrishna Export House by endorsement of title to the goods, while the goods were in high seas. So when the goods were in waters, okay, high seas, outside the country, at that time we have sold it to someone else. Now, the agreement provided that Mohandas International shall purchase back the goods in future from Radhakrishna Export House. He will purchase it in future, nothing done yet. Discuss the taxability of transactions involved under the GST. So we were importing, the goods were in waters, and at that time we have sold it to someone else. Then tell me, supply or it is not a supply? For the purpose of GST, is it a supply? Means, will it attract GST at the time of high sea sales? No, this is considered as what? It is considered as high sea sales. Means when the goods have not at all touched, the goods are going to come to India, but before coming to India, we have sold it to someone else. So this transaction is not considered as a supply. Are you understanding this? Here we have sold the goods. Here we have sold the goods before clearing the goods. Before clearing the goods, if we have sold the goods, then it is totally excluded from supply. Yes? And the last one. This last question which I have recently added in our book, this was a May 26 exam question. Okay, May 26 exam question. Please give it a try, everyone. See this. We discussed little things about this. We have discussed. Blue Bank Limited has lent a term loan to Sky Powers for setting up a solar plant on an agreed repayment schedule. Okay, due to crunch in working capital, Sky Powers missed a few installments and the bank charged penal charges for breach of repayment contract. whether these penal charges collected by the bank are liable for GST. Penal charges collected by the bank because the customer could not do the repayment of the he could not do the payment of few installments. Tell me, is it a supply or it is not a supply? Is it a supply or it is not a supply? Here it is. Here it is. So can we say it is not a supply? Yes, it is penalizing in nature. It is merely a flow of money to discourage non-compliance. Just because the customer CAI Powers should not do it again and again. Okay, just because he should not do this mistake again and again in future, for that the penal charges were levied. So this is not a contract. This is not a supply at all. It is merely a flow of money from CAI Powers to Blue Bank, and hence it is not liable for GST. Are you able to understand this, everyone? Manageable? This was a May 26 exam question. Everyone, was it comfortable till here? Yes? Can we proceed ahead to the next set of question, everyone? Yes, 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 yes. Okay, okay, okay. Chalo. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. I'm going to the next question. Now, a different category of question altogether. Okay, different type of question altogether. Chalo. Everyone here. Determine whether the following supplies amount to composite supply or mixed supply or individual supply. Okay, so now let me just quickly tell you section number 8 of the CGST Act mainly talks about this composite supplies and individuals, composite supplies and mixed supplies, right? Now, how do we define a supply as a composite supply? A supply which is done by a person to another person, where two or more taxable supplies are done together, right? Two or more taxable supplies of goods or services are done together and which are naturally bundled together, in ordinary course of business, and those two services or goods are normally sold together or those are normally given together. So then that is considered as a composite supply. Yes. And in that case, what is the rate of GST applicable? Whatever is the rate of GST applicable on the principal supply. Okay, whatever is the rate of GST applicable on the principal supply, that same rate of GST will be applicable on the ancillary supply. This is what we have already studied for composite supply. Now, similarly, for mixed supply. Now, what happens in case of mixed supplies? Okay, when two or more individual supplies are done together, but which are not naturally bundled together, means normally these are not provided together. Okay, and but for which a single amount is charged. Okay, no bifurcation should be shown in the invoice. Single invoice should be there and single price should be there. If all of these conditions are fulfilled, then it will be considered as a mixed supply. And if in mixed supply, what will be the rate of GST applicable? The highest rate of GST amongst those supplies. Okay, let's say 5 things are combined together and provided. Then out of those five, whichever is the highest rate, whichever is bearing the highest rate of GST, that will be applicable on the total amount. This you must have already studied. Now let's try to apply it in the question answers. Everyone here. I am reading it. Please try to give me the answer. There are 5 sub questions here. Okay, a hotel provides 4 days, 3 nights package wherein the facility of breakfast and dinner is provided along with the room accommodation. Tell me quickly. Hotel is providing breakfast and dinner along with the room accommodation. So can we say normally, along with room, normally they give you the facility for breakfast and dinner also. They tell us to add the package of breakfast and dinner also. So can we say these are two such supplies which are naturally bundled in the ordinary course of a business? Yes. So this will be considered as what? This will be considered as composite supply. If this is considered as composite supply, and can we say out of that room accommodation will be considered as the principal supply? Yes. Room accommodation will be considered as principal. Breakfast and dinner will be considered as the ancillary supply. Yes. Okay, next one. Let's try the next one, everyone. A toothpaste company has offered the scheme of free toothbrush or soap along with the toothpaste. Soap and toothpaste, toothbrush and toothpaste, everyone. Two or more individual supplies done together in conjunction to each other, which are not naturally bundled together. It is not necessary to give soap and toothpaste, toothbrush together. Right? So this will be considered as which type of a supply? Yes, this will be considered as a mixed supply. So whichever product is bearing the highest rate of GST, that will be applicable on the total amount. And yes, please try to understand in case of mixed supply, okay, single invoice should be there and single amount should be there. In the invoice, if they have shown the bifurcation, then it is no more a mixed supply. Okay, if they have shown the bifurcation, toothbrush this much, toothpaste this much, soap this much, then it is not a mixed supply. Then it becomes individual supplies and individual rate of GST will be applicable. But where in a single invoice, a single amount is charged, then it will be considered as a mixed supply. Okay. Then after that, chalo, let's go to the next one. Everyone. Agrawal Carriers is a GTA engaged in transportation of goods by road. As per the general business practice, he is also providing intermediary and ancillary services like loading, unloading, packing, unpacking, transshipment and temporary warehousing in relation to transportation of goods by road. Along with transportation, he is providing loading, unloading, packing, unpacking and all those services also. Tell me, is it a mixed supply? C point I am asking. Tell me, is it a mixed supply or is it a composite supply? Along with transportation, loading of goods into the truck, taking the goods out of the truck, these services also he is providing. So can we say these are such services which are provided in ordinary course of business by every transporter? Ordinarily these are provided. Yes, so this will be considered, very good. This will be considered as a composite supply. This will be considered as a composite supply. Okay. Chalo, theek hai. Then after that, everyone, let's try the next one. D point. Dum Dum Electronics has sold the following electronic items to Akbar Retail Store. Okay, refrigerator 500 liters taxable at 18%, stabilizer for refrigerator 12%, LED television 12%, split AC 40%, stabilizer for AC 12%. He has sold this to someone. Now, Dum Dum Electronics, everyone, very, very important line starting here. He has issued a single invoice, okay, single invoice indicating price of each of the amount separately in the invoice. Akbar Retail Store has given a single check of rupees 1 lakh for all the items as a composite discounted price. State the type of supply and the tax rate applicable. I am not giving you any hint. You have to give me the answer. Single invoice, condition fulfilled, but amounts written separately in the invoice. First of all, these are not at all composite. These are not sold together in ordinary course of business. So composite is ruled out. This is not mixed because for mixed, you cannot show the bifurcation in the invoice. So yes, this will be considered as individual supplies. Very good. This will be considered. And if it is considered as individual supplies, then what rate will be applicable? What rate of GST will be applicable? Can we say individual rates of GST will be applicable on individual items? Means whatever is the value written on that respective rate will be applicable. Right? This is neither composite nor mixed and hence it will be considered as individual supply. Super. Chalo, last one, everyone. Last one. If a trader launches a package sales for marriage containing double bed, refrigerator, washing machine, wooden wardrobe at a single rate, he is launching a package sales, okay, package sales for marriage containing double bed, refrigerator, washing machine, wooden wardrobe at a single rate, and he is issuing invoice showing value of each goods separately. He is charging a single rate. Okay, let's say he is charging 5 lakh rupees, but he is showing the invoice value of each good separately in the invoice. Whether it is mixed or composite, explain. Whether it is mixed or composite, explain. Everyone, can you explain whether it is mixed or composite? If he is issuing the invoice showing the value of each goods separately. Value of each goods separately. Can we say, first of all, it cannot be composite, right? It cannot be composite because these are not ordinarily sold in, these are not normally sold together in ordinary course of business. It is not even mixed supply. Why it is not a mixed supply? See. Because he is issuing invoice showing the value of each good separately, he cannot show value or he cannot show the bifurcation in the invoice. Again, this will be considered as your individual supply only. Did you understand? Yes, it is similar. Still a mistake happened. So please avoid doing mistake here. Please try to understand. For mixed supply, what did I say? There should be a single invoice and there should be a single price return in the invoice. There should be no bifurcation shown. Manageable, and hence again, because it is an individual supply, again individual rates will be applicable in that case. Everyone clear with section number 8? Are you clear with section number 8? Yes? Yes. Chalo. Then let's go ahead, everyone. Let's go ahead to the next question. Mixture. Next question is a mixture of few concepts, circular also coming up in between, and one or two concepts also. Everyone, let's give it a try. Ascertain whether supply constitutes supply of goods or supply of services. You have to identify whether it is supply of goods or supply of services. Chalo. First one, a professional training institute gets its training material printed from a printing press. Okay, the content of the material is provided by the training institute who owns the usage rights of the same, while the physical inputs including paper used for printing belongs to the printer. So basically, I as a teacher, I want to get my notes printed from a printing press. So I'm just giving the material, the PDF copy, okay, of my notes to the printer. He is going to use his paper. He is going to use his own ink. Okay, now ascertain whether the supply of training material by the printing press constitutes supply of goods or supply of services. I have simply given the content to the printer. Okay, he is going to print that content on a book, on a paper, and he is going to give me the final book. Tell me, what supply is he providing me? Is it supply of goods he is providing me, or is it supply of services that he is providing me? So we had a specific circular on this, right? We had a specific circular on this that whenever the printer, imagine from the printer point of view now, he is not owning the content. Okay, the content is not his. The content is of the author. The content is of the training institute. What he is doing is he is simply using some raw materials, and the main activity that he is doing is printing that content on the paper and providing it to me. So he is providing me supply of services. Yes, predominantly, very good. Predominantly, he is providing me supply of services, because the most important thing here is the content. Okay, imagine, for example, there is a book in front of you, and imagine on that book, if there is no content printed, the paper is valueless. So the most important thing there is the content. So printing is the most important thing. Without printing, the book is of no use. And hence this is considered as supply of service. Okay, very good. Chalo, next one, everyone. Let's give it a try. B point. Nandishwar manufacturers sends certain category of yarn for processing to the job worker. Manufacturer is sending some yarn to the job worker. The job worker undertakes the processing work on the yarn as per the requirement of Nandishwar manufacturers. During the process, the job worker uses his own material also. Main work of the job worker is to do the job work on it. For that, he is using some own material also. The processed yarn is sold by Nandishwar manufacturers directly from the job worker's premises. And balance quantity of yarn and waste material is sent back by the job worker to Nandishwar manufacturers. The job worker is of the opinion that he is using his own material also in the processing, and hence the supply is in the nature of supply of goods as well as services. Do you agree with the opinion of job worker? So basically, I have sent something to the job worker to do a work on it. He is using some of his own material, and then he is going to return it back to me. Ownership is not with the job worker. Ownership is with me only. This will be considered, yes. Even if the job worker is using his own material, little, that is okay, na, there is no problem. Okay, but the main supply here is the supply of service which is done by the job worker and as per schedule number 2. Okay, as per schedule number 2, again, it will be considered as a supply of services because he is working on someone else's goods. Okay, because he is working on someone else's goods, so this will be considered as supply of service. Yes? Yes. Chalo, theek hai. Then after that, let's go to the next one, everyone. Let's go to the next one. Last question here. Last question. Gagan Engineering Private Limited, registered in Haryana, is engaged in providing maintenance and repair services for heavy steel machinery. For carrying out the repair work, Gagan Engineering Private Limited sends its container trucks equipped with items like repair equipments, consumable, tools, parts, etc. from Haryana workshop to its own repairing centers registered under GST located in another states across India, where the client's machinery are being brought and are being repaired. Okay, so basically what is happening here, main company's name is Gagan Engineering, which is mainly engaged in providing repair and maintenance services. Now, Gagan Engineering is sending, okay, not selling, sending its trucks, okay, trucks it is sending, which is equipped with tools, spare parts, etc., to its various centers where the client's machinery are brought and being repaired. Now, discuss the leviability of GST on the interstate movement of trucks from the workshop to its own repairing centers in other states across India. Tell me, when the truck is moving, when the truck which is carrying the tools, spare parts, etc., when it is moving from one state to another, will there be any GST applicable on the truck movement? No, there will be no GST applicable on the truck movement. Why? Why? Are we selling the truck or are we just sending the truck? Are we selling our truck to the other repair centers? No, we are not selling our truck. We are not selling our truck. There is an interstate movement. Okay, there is an interstate movement of conveyance between distinct persons. Okay, there is a movement of trucks, but that is not for further supply. Okay, it's not that we are sending from one place to another because we want to sell the truck. We have sent it for the purpose of repairs. After doing the repair, the truck will come back to us only. So this transaction is not considered as a supply. Circular. Everyone, in our book also, before section number 8 starts, there is a circular given there. This is clarified. Did you understand this, everyone? Yes. Acha, suppose if they would have told, this truck is being sent. This truck is being sent for further sale. Then what? If this is being sent for further sale, then that would have been a supply. Yes, then that would have been a supply. But here they have specifically mentioned here. Can you see this? For carrying out, here it is written, for carrying out the repair work, the company sends its container trucks, etc. across India where the machinery is being repaired. So we are just sending, yes, we are just sending the truck for repair. So this is not considered as a supply. Very good. Very good. Super awesome. Done. Circular point is completed here. So then after that, one more question, everyone. Let's give it a try. One more question. Question number 4, everyone. Please come to question number 4. This is actually, we have already discussed it, but let's quickly do it now. Importation of services so that you will not have to do it on your home, on your own as homework. Yes, we'll do it in the class itself, everyone. Importation of service. So you have to identify whether it is a supply or not. Okay. Chalo, I'm starting everyone here. Miss Sriniti Kaushik received interior decoration services for her residence located at Bandra, Mumbai from Mr. Rachel of Sydney, Australia. The amount paid is 5,000 Australian dollars. Importation of services from Australia for residents, and for a consideration. Section number I want, section number. Is it a supply or not a supply? Is it a supply or it is not a supply? Yes, very good, very good, very good, very good. Section number 71B, it is a supply. Yes, importation of services for some consideration, whether or not in the course or furtherance of business. Yes, this will be considered as a supply. Section number 71C, because it is with consideration. If it would have been without consideration, then we would have thought about schedule number 1. Yes? Chalo, theek hai. Then after that, Miss Sriniti Kaushik received interior decoration services for her residence located at Bandra, Mumbai from her brother, Mr. Varun, residing in Sydney, Australia, wholly dependent on Miss Sriniti. Further, she did not pay any consideration for the said service. She did not pay any consideration for the said service. Quickly give me the answer, everyone. Question is only this much. Supply or not a supply? Supply or not a supply? Importation of services from brother. Tell me, your brother is dependent on me. Related person? Importation of services, and she did not pay any consideration. Chalo, let's start applying schedule number 1. Schedule number 1 also, which para? Schedule number 1 also, which para? Which para will apply here? Can we say para number 4 will apply? Importation of services. Okay. Can we say this is importation of services? So we will directly apply para number 4. Okay. Importation of services from a related person or from an establishment outside India, but in the course or furtherance of business. Can we say this is not in the course or furtherance of business because this is for residents? Yes. So tell me, everyone, quickly tell me, supply or not a supply? Final answer. Second question. Final answer. Supply or not a supply? Can we say it is not a supply? It is not a supply. Yes. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. ठीक है. Why it is not a supply? Because this is not done in the course or furtherance of business, and hence my para number 4 schedule 1 condition does not get fulfilled. Okay. Now they are asking, will your answer change if in the above case, Ms. Sriniti has taken interior decoration services with regard to her business premises and not residence? Now tell me, if it is for business, importation of services from a related person for zero consideration in the course or furtherance of business. Now tell me, will this be considered as a supply? Will this be considered as a supply? Answer is yes. Now this will be considered as a supply because now my conditions of para number 4 of schedule number 1 is getting full. Yes? Okay. Then after that, next one, 4th one, everyone. Mrs. Pragati received legal advice for her personal problems and paid 1,000 pound as legal fees to Miss Unnati of UK, London. Explain whether the above activity would amount to supply. We received legal service for personal problem and paid 1,000 pound as legal fee to Miss Unnati of UK, London. Tell me, supply or not a supply? 4th one. Supply or not a supply? 4th one. Section number 71B, importation of services. Consideration is there, na? Importation of services for a consideration, whether or not in the course or furtherance of business. Okay. And here they are asking, if in the above case, both of them are real sisters, and no consideration is paid, then will it change your answer? And further in the above case, if both of them are real sisters and Mrs. Pragati receives legal advice for her business and she does not pay any consideration, then what will be your answer? So first give me the answer for this. If in the above case, if both of them are real sister and no consideration is paid, then will it change your answer? Will it change your answer? Everyone quickly try to give me the answer. Will it be considered as a supply? If no consideration is paid. And this is personal problem. So we have to assume something now. Can we say we'll have to assume that she is our related person? We'll have to assume that she is my related person or not a related person. We'll have to assume it either ways. Let's assume if she is my related person and if there is no consideration, 7(1)(b) cannot become applicable. Now, can we say here this was for personal problem? This was for personal problem. So, para 4 is not applicable here. We are continuing the above now. So, para 4 is not applicable because for para 4 we need business. For para 4 we need business. So, if our assumption is that we are related person and this is for personal problems, then this transaction is not considered as a supply. Okay, you'll have to assume one chain. Okay, you'll have to assume one chain and accordingly you'll have to give the answer. And now they're asking if both of them are real sisters and she is receiving legal advice for her business and not paying any consideration. Now can you give me the answer? Real sisters means let's assume related person and this is for business and no consideration. Can you give me the answer? Last option. Can you give me the answer? Supply or not a supply? Importation of services from a related person in the course or furtherance of business for zero consideration. Then can we say in this case the transaction will be considered as a supply? The transaction will be considered as a supply as per para number 4. Did you understand this? Para number 4 of schedule number 1. I hope you are clear with all the permutations and combinations, everyone. See, if there is a consideration, okay, if there is a consideration, don't come to schedule 1 at all. Just stay in 7(1)(b) and give the answer. If there is no consideration involved, then only come to schedule number 1. And if it is importation, please directly jump to para number 4. Okay. Then after that, last question here. Mr. Swami of Chennai is working as a manager with ABC Bank. Okay, he consulted Messrs. Jacobs and Company of London and took its advice for buying a residential house in Mumbai and paid them consultancy fee consideration of 200 UK pounds for this import of service. So he took an advice for buying a house in Mumbai and paid 200 UK pounds. I just now told you if there is a consideration involved, just stick to 7(1)(b) and then revise the wordings of 7(1)(b). Importation of services for a consideration whether or not in the course or furtherance of business. So this is for a residential house. Tell me, supply or not a supply? Can we say this is considered as a supply? Everyone? Yes, super awesome. Okay, done. Chalo. So these initial 4 questions we have completed. Question number 3 we did kya? Question number 3 we completed, na? Yes, okay. Question number 1, 2, 3, 4 we have completed. Now I want you to come to everyone. Please come to question number 7. Please come to question number 7. I want to discuss this question with you. Question number 7. Question number 7. Please come to question number 7, everyone. Can we start, everyone? Question number 7. a small concept is there. So we'll just discuss it quickly so that, when you combine the entire chapter and when you wind up the chapter, it becomes very, very simple. I don't think there will be any other concept which is left for discussion then. Chalo, let's read. Let's read, everyone. Mr. Happy has a huge residential property located at a prime location in Mumbai, Maharashtra. Happy is the owner of a property. Okay, he has let out the first and second floor to Mr. Peace for residential purpose in April. Mr. Peace surrenders his tenancy rights to Mr. Sirin for a tenancy premium of rupees 10 lakhs on 1st of June. Mr. Sirin has also paid the applicable stamp duty and registration charges on transfer of tenancy rights. Okay, so basically, owner of the property is Mr. Happy. Happy had given it on rent to Mr. Peace in the month of April. Then Mr. Peace, he is leaving maybe. So he surrenders his tenancy rights to Mr. Sirin. Sirin is the new tenant who is coming into picture for rupees 10 lakhs. And Sirin, who is the new tenant, he has also paid the applicable stamp duty and registration charges on transfer of tenancy rights. Moreover, Sirin has agreed to pay a monthly rent of 1 lakh rupee to Mr. Happy from June. Determine the taxability of the transactions involved in the given case for the month of June. Have you heard about tenancy rights, everyone? At least have you heard about tenancy premium, tenancy rights? I am not asking about the tax effect of that, but have you heard about this term whenever you have studied GST earlier? Yes. So here what is happening here, everyone, here what is happening is Happy is the owner of the property, right? He is the owner of the property. So can we say he is providing renting service? Yes, Happy is first providing the renting service to Mr. Peace. He is providing renting of immovable property service. He is providing it to Mr. Peace, for which can I say Mr. Peace would be paying the rent? Okay. Now, this is a supply. At least this is a supply we know, right? This is a supply. Now, what is happening after that is Peace is going to exit. Okay, Peace is going to leave that property and a new tenant is going to come called as Mr. Sirin. So now, Happy is going to provide service to Mr. Sirin. Happy is going to provide renting of immovable property to Sirin. And Sirin is going to pay the rent to Happy. Rent will be paid to the owner only. I am not talking about tenancy premium. I am talking about the rent. That will be paid to the owner only. Okay. Now, one extra transaction here. When Peace was leaving that premises, okay, Peace surrendered the tenancy rights in favor of Mr. Sirin, for which Mr. Sirin paid 10 lakh rupees to Peace. Means basically, Peace gave the tenancy rights. Okay, tenancy rights was given to Sirin, for which it paid rupees 10 lakhs. Now, my first question to you, everyone. Renting of immovable property, is it a supply? I am not talking about whether it is taxable or whether it is exempted. I am just asking renting of immovable property, whether it is a supply. Renting of immovable property. Yes, ma'am, it is a supply. Renting of immovable property is a supply of service. Yes, so Happy to Peace, because they have asked about multiple transactions. So we'll have to write about all the transactions there. So Happy to Peace will be considered as a supply of service. Okay. Then similarly, Happy to Sirin, renting of new tenant. Happy to Sirin. Happy is the owner. When Happy is giving the immovable property on rent to Mr. Sirin, even that is considered as supply of service. And this rent is also a consideration for that. Okay, it is also a consideration for that. Now, one extra point which I just want to add in between here is whenever a residential property is given on rent for residential purposes, we will study day after tomorrow. Okay, whenever a residential property is given on rent for some residential purposes, then the rent will be totally exempted from GST. Have you heard about this? So when it is given for residential purposes, for own stay purposes, this rent will be exempted from GST. Yes, if it is given for residential purposes, then it will be exempted from GST. Now coming on to tenancy premium. Okay, now coming on to tenancy premium. Please try to understand whenever tenancy rights are sold, okay, please try to understand, please see the wordings here. Whenever tenancy rights are sold by the outgoing tenant, okay, by the outgoing tenant to the new tenant, outgoing tenant to the new tenant, it will always attract GST, be it any type of a property. Whenever tenancy rights are sold by outgoing tenant piece to Serene, it will always attract GST because it is not specifically exempted. Okay, because it is not specifically exempted, it is always liable to GST and it is considered as supply of service. Just like renting, it is considered as supply of service. Okay, listen now. Now here the question says that Serene, he paid 10 lakh rupees for the tenancy premium and he has also paid the applicable stamp duty and registration charges. Ma'am, stamp duty and registration comes on immovable property. So here he has already paid stamp duty and registration on transfer of tenancy rights. Doesn't matter. Okay, even if on the tenancy rights stamp duty and registration has been paid, does not make it an immovable property. It is still considered as supply of service and that supply of service is liable to GST. Are you understanding this, everyone? Did you understand this? You have to write these wordings in your exam that although stamp duty and registration charges have been paid on the transfer of tenancy rights, that is totally irrelevant and it is still liable to GST. These words should come in your answer. Manageable till here, everyone? Did you understand? Yes. Okay, ठीक है. Now listen. One extra point which I want to tell you. Okay. What if Mr. Happy, he gave the property. Achha, I'll talk about Happy to Serene now. Okay. I'll talk about Happy to Serene now. What if now Happy has given the property on rent to Serene. Okay. Renting of immovable property is done for which he is going to pay the rent. What if tenancy rights were sold by Happy to Serene? What if tenancy rights were sold by Happy to Serene and Serene is paying the tenancy premium also along with rent? In our question, it was sold by piece to Serene. But I am asking, what if the owner sells it to the tenant? Then what will be the GST impact of this tenancy premium? Means along with renting of immovable property, what if he is also selling the tenancy rights to the tenant? Then the treatment will be same as that of the rent. The treatment will be same as that of the rent. Means if rent is exempted, then even this tenancy premium will be exempted. Okay, and when will rent be exempted? When will rent be exempted? If Serene is using this residential property for residential purposes, then we just now discussed that the rent is going to be exempted. Okay, then in that case, the tenancy premium will also be exempted. Okay, so only in this case the tenancy premium is exempted. In all the other permutation combination, it is going to be liable to GST. Are you understanding this, everyone? Manageable? Are you understanding this? See, Happy is doing it in the course of his business, na? So for him, it is going to be taxable. Suppose if it is done for commercial purposes, etc., wherever tax is going to come, Happy will be the supplier, Serene is going to be the recipient. Here, if it is for residential property given on rent for residential purpose, then anyway, everything is going to be exempt. Did you understand, everyone? Tenancy premium, everything we have discussed about it. Yes. Okay. So this was one question which I wanted to discuss with you. Another one, question number 8 is simple. You can do, that is composite and mixed supply. 9 is also very simple. 10 is also very simple. Acha, in case of composite supply, which rate of GST will you apply? And in case of mixed supply, which rate of GST will you apply? Quickly write the answers in the chat box. For composite supply, which rate of GST will you apply? And for mixed supply, which rate of GST will you apply? Very good. For composite supply, you will apply the rate which is applicable to the principal supply, the main supply, and for mixed supply, you will apply the highest rate of GST. Super, super, super. Okay. ठीक है. Okay. Chalo. Last question, last concept for the day. Everyone here. Last concept and last concept for the day. Have you studied about this cost petroleum and profit petroleum? Have you heard about that circular? Have you studied about that circular about taxability of cost petroleum? Yes, you must have heard about it, right? You must have heard about it. I'll quickly revise that for you, everyone. Now, let's say there is a company. Okay, let's say there is a company which has entered into a contract with the government that, sir, please give me the license, please give me the rights to do the exploration or to do the mining, and I want to explore I want to do oil exploration, I want to do petroleum exploration, etc. Okay. Listen, if you have not listened, if you have not studied earlier, no problem, just listen to me for the next 2 minutes. It will be very, very clear for you. Okay, so now I go to the government and I request to the government, sir, please allow me to do the exploration. Government says, okay, you do, but whatever exploration you do, I need some share from that. That is one thing. And because I'm giving you the rights, I need some royalty also from you. Okay, so this company agrees to that. So government is asking for two things. One is the government is asking for royalty. Okay, and next thing is government is asking for some share in profit petroleum. Means whatever exploration we are going to do, okay, whatever liters or tons of liters of exploration we are going to do, from that the government is going to take some part from me. Okay, so government is going to take some share in profit petroleum. Now here, the company starts the exploration, and it was already decided between the company and the government is that whatever exploration the company does, first it will recover the cost, because cost of exploration is also going to be very, very high. So let's say, for example, the company does an exploration of 1 lakh liters of oil. Okay, let's say it does so much exploration of oil. And to meet the cost of exploration, it will have to keep 10,000 liters of oil separately. So this oil it has kept separately. It is going to sell it in the market. It is going to recover the money, and it is basically for meeting the cost of exploration. This is not the profit. So after keeping the cost separately, it is now left with 90,000 liters of oil. From that, it was already agreed, let's say, for example, let's say 10% was supposed to be given to the government as a share. So 90,000 multiplied by 10%, 9,000 liters of oil we are going to give it to the government, and now we are going to be left with 81,000 liters of oil, which is actually our profit. Now the question that arises here is the 10,000 liters of oil which I am keeping it separately to meet my cost. Is it a consideration that I am going to pay to the government? Is this 10,000 I am paying it to the government? No. This 10,000 liters, this first 10,000 liters, I am not paying it to the government. It's just like I am doing so much of exploration, and from that I am keeping something just to meet my cost. So this 10,000 liters, this is not a consideration at all. So forget about its taxability. This is not a consideration at all. Right? The next question. Now, this 90,000 is considered as profit petroleum. Okay, this is called as, means whatever is left with us after deducting the cost is called as profit petroleum. Out of that, 10% we are going to give it to the government. Can we say this 9,000 liter is considered as government's share in profit petroleum? This is considered as government's share in profit petroleum. So can we say this is a consideration that we are going to pay to the government because it has given me the right? Because it has given me the right to do the exploration, this is one of the consideration that I am going to pay to the government. And this consideration is exempted. Okay, this is exempted. This is totally outside the scope of GST as per a circular. There will be no GST applicable on this. Did you understand? This 9,000, can we say government provided me the service of right to explore. Government gave me the right to explore, for which I am giving that 9,000 liters of oil to the government. So this is a consideration. Agreed, this is a consideration, but no GST is applicable on the same. Did you understand this, everyone? Yes, and balance 81,000 is anyway, this is my own output. Means in this 81,000 anyway, government does not have any share. So this is my exploration. We cannot talk about GST here. We cannot talk about GST on this 81,000 here. We are talking about the transaction between me and the government. Yes. And one last question, one extra question which I want to ask you. If at all government tells me, Arpita, you have to pay me a separate royalty of 1 crore rupees for this exploration. Can you tell me the tax effect on that? Is that a consideration and will it be taxable? Or at least tell me, is it a consideration and will it be a supply? If I am separately paying some royalty to the government for doing the exploration, any royalty, any extra royalty paid to the government, not out of this exploration, but separately if I am paying some royalty to the government, then in that case, yes, it will be considered. Yes, it will be considered as a consideration and it is very much within the scope of GST. It is very much within the scope of GST. Did you understand this, everyone? Clear till here? Yes? Chalo, theek hai. Now see everyone, let's try a question on this. Chalo. Mr. Kanjilal Adani is an oil exploration and production contractor and is registered under GST in the state of Gujarat. He entered into a production sharing contract with the government of Gujarat, wherein he gets a license to explore, exploit and sell the petroleum crude and natural gas from the government in Aliabet oil field in lieu of royalty and a share in profit petroleum. So he has entered into a contract with the government where he is going to pay the royalty also and is going to pay a share in profit petroleum also. In the month of June, Mr. Kanjilal Adani explored the petroleum reserves at this oil field. He got a portion of petroleum silt, which is not taxable under GST, worth rupees 3 lakh as a part of compensation. This petroleum silt is a part of cost petroleum as per the contract entered with the government. So basically to recover his cost, he has got this 3 lakh rupees. Examine the taxability of petroleum silt. A different name that they have used. Petroleum silt here is nothing but a part of cost petroleum. So they are asking what is the taxability of this petroleum silt received by Kanjilal Adani. Tell me first of all, is it a consideration or it is not a consideration? Cost petroleum. Is it a consideration or it is not a consideration? Cost petroleum is received just to meet my own cost. See, I am not doing this exploration for the government or on behalf of the government. I am doing it for myself. So whatever amount I am keeping aside to meet my cost, that is not a consideration. Yes, you are right, Priya. This is not a consideration at all. So the question of GST does not arise on it. Did you understand, everyone? So if I ask you, everyone, clearly if I ask you, everyone here, see this, final conclusion. Cost petroleum. Can we say that it is not a consideration? No question of supply here. Yes. Profit petroleum. Profit petroleum. Yes, it is a consideration. Okay, but government's share is outside GST. Did you understand this, everyone? And royalty is also a consideration. Okay, and GST is applicable on the same. Manageable. Yes, everyone. Three very different concepts are there in the chapter. One is about the tenancy premium. Okay, tenancy premium that we just now discussed, that happy, peace and serene, that one. Second one is this cost and profit petroleum. And third one is that this circular. Okay, third one is this circular. So these are the three very important things that you have to pay attention, where they can twist in the exam. Okay, here also, see this everyone. I'll just quickly go through this. Breach of contract, penalties, liquidated damages, law violation, check dishonor, forfeiture of salary, earnest money, penal charges by the banks, etc. No GST will be applicable on these, because these are merely flow of money to discourage non-compliance. It's not there was no contract between the two people. There was no express written contract between these two people. And just because we wanted the other person to stop this non-compliance, for that we have levied a charges, hence no GST is applicable. But exception we have seen that is in case of liquidated damages, if there is a specific written express implied contract between two persons, that if you forfeit the contract or if you violate the terms of the contract, then we are going to take a consideration, then GST will be applicable. The question that we did of Chandragupta brand ambassador and that. Okay, but otherwise, liquidated damages, breach of contract, penalties collected by the bank, traffic police collecting the fine from us, no GST will be applicable on the same. And the explanation that you're going to write is, it is merely a flow of money. Okay, it is merely a flow of money. The next one, in that itself, another thing which I want to discuss with you is this. See this, late payment charges or late payment fee or fixed minimum charges. Hey, you must have seen na, even if we don't utilize the electricity of our house for few days, still they will levy some minimum charges in the bill. Okay, similarly in our phone also, example, if there is any landline phone etc, also, even if we have not utilized the services, still they will levy some minimum charges. Why are they levying these minimum charges? Because they are still providing us the services, we have not used it. Yes, so here they are telling that it will be a supply. Okay, here we cannot say that it is not a supply. Above one was not a supply at all. This will be considered as a supply, but it will be considered as a composite supply. Okay, means what? Example, normally telephone charges. Okay, normally telephone charges, can we say those are taxable? And in that, if they are levying some fixed minimum fee, or if they are levying some interest on us, or if they are levying some late payment fees, etc., then this late payment fee will be considered as an ancillary service. Okay, so if telephone is taxable, then even this ancillary will be taxable. Okay, but if in case of telephone charges, okay, instead of telephone charges, if this would have been electricity, okay, and in case of electricity, if you do the bill payment late, then they levy the late fees etc also on you. Okay, then in that case, we already know that everything in relation to electricity is exempted. So even the late fee which they are levying is going to be exempted. Okay, so at least this is a consideration, but it will be considered as a composite supply, and its taxability will depend on the main supply. Yes, so in case of telephone, in case of gas pipeline connection etc, it is a taxable supply, but in case of electricity, it will be exempted. Why it is exempted? Because the main supply itself is exempt. Okay, and this point I have told you specifically, this is overriding with the main provision. Cancellation charges. Cancellation charges is also just like a penalty for discouraging you to cancel it, but this was specifically given by the circular that cancellation charges, which is taken by the hotel bookings, for railway ticket bookings, etc., it is specifically taxable. And whatever is the tax rate applicable on the main supply, means when you book a hotel room, at that time, suppose if the GST rate is 18%, then on cancellation also it is going to be 18%. Means accordingly, similarly, just like your composite supply, even this taxability is going to be there. Yes, and you are asking employee leaving the company. This one. Forfeiture of salary bond in event of the employee leaving the employment before the minimum agreed period. Yes, if it was specifically mentioned, okay, if it was specifically agreed, there was a return express implied. See, listen, please try to understand. One is, suppose if I am the employee and the other person is the employer. Generally, if we are entering into an employment agreement where we are just discussing our terms and conditions of the employment, and in that contract we have nowhere mentioned about what if I leave the company before a specified period, etc. At that time, if the company is forfeiting my salary, then it is not a supply, because for that forfeiture, we have not entered into a separate agreement. But for that forfeiture alone, if I have entered into a specific contract, then only it will be considered as a supply. Okay, so from exam point of view, wherever they are giving us now this salary or bond in the event of employment, leaving the employment, etc., everywhere they are assuming that there was no return express implied agreement for that, and hence they are assuming that there is no GST applicable on the same. Did you understand this? Penal charge is not a supply, but what about prepayment charges? Prepayment charges is also, means if you are closing your loan early, they levy some penalty in the name of prepayment. Again, on that, no GST is applicable. Did you understand this, everyone? Done. ठीक है. So I hope the supply chapter was clear for you, everyone, and you were able to revise most of the provisions. I think we did the question on every concept. Yes, in between. Now, a few questions you have to do it as homework. Question number 5, 6, 8 and 9. 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. 5 questions. 5 questions. You have to do it on your own. Those are very, very simple question. CA intermediate level question. All the difficult questions, all the tricky questions we have already taken up in the class. Yes. And tomorrow we are going to do the charge chapter. I want you to revise these concepts properly, everyone. RCM, FCM provisions, you have to do it properly. Okay, that is one thing. Okay, eco-related provisions you have to do. And third one is composition scheme. Okay, mainly these. Okay, eco-related, composition scheme, RCM, FCM. These provisions we are going to do tomorrow under our charge of GST chapter. So please revise these for tomorrow's lecture, so that, see, it should be, because you are investing 2.5 hours on daily basis, it should be such that, okay, in the morning you are revising the concepts, and then in the evening you are sitting with me and solving the questions, and the chapter should get over then and there itself. The concept is based on that. Right? So please take some efforts, please revise these concepts, and tomorrow we'll meet for the charge of GST chapter. Let me know if the lecture was helpful for you, everyone. Let me know in the Telegram group, or in the YouTube comments. Please let me know, so that your comments are helpful for the other students also. Yes? So I'll see you tomorrow in the evening at 7 o'clock, everyone. Yes? Okay, bye-bye. Thank you so much. Just complete these 5 questions. If you can sit after the lecture, please complete these 5 questions now itself. It will not even take you half an hour. Just complete these 5 questions now, or if you are tired, then please take it up tomorrow morning before you start the new chapter. Bye bye. See you. I'll see you all tomorrow in the evening at 7 o'clock. Okay. Again, live on YouTube.